Hello friends, welcome to this new video. So this particular video is on introduction to SQL or SQL. So this particular video will play a very important role in the life of that particular student which is starting to learning SQL for the very first time. Okay, so daily we will learn one statement which is used or one syntax which is used in SQL. Okay, so that will if you like collectively do it for like 30 to 60 days, so you learn 60 statement or 60 different syntax which are going to use in SQL. Okay, so let's start. So basically, what is SQL? SQL is a standard language for accessing and manipulating the database. Okay, we know the databases are used for storing the data. So with the help of SQL, we can manipulate this particular data. Okay, now what is SQL? So SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Okay, SQL lets you to access and manipulate the database. We can make the necessary changes in our database with the help of this particular language. Now SQL became a standard of ANSI in 1986, and it also became a standard of ISO in 1987. So what can SQL do? Okay, so SQL can perform different tasks. So some of them are SQL can execute the query against the database. Whatever query we write, SQL can execute that particular query against the given database. SQL can retrieve the data from the database. Okay, we can retrieve the data present in the database with the help of SQL. SQL can again insert the records, new records in the database. SQL can update the records in the database. SQL can delete the records from the database. Okay, with the help of SQL, we can delete the records which are present in the database. We can create the new database with the help of SQL as well. We can create new tables inside the database with the help of SQL. We can create stored procedures as well in our database with the help of this particular language. SQL can create views in a database, and one last and the important thing is we can set a permission on tables, procedures and views which we have already created in our database with the help of SQL. Okay, now SQL is in standard, but although SQL is an ANSI or ISO standard, but there are different versions of SQL language. Okay, now which are the most important SQL commands? So some of the important SQL commands are given here. So first one is a select. This particular command is used whenever we have to extract the data from our database. The second command is update. So this particular command updates the data present in our database. The third particular command is delete. Okay, so this particular command is used to delete the data from our database. Then the next particular command is insert into. So this particular command inserts a new data in the database. The next particular command is create database. With the help of SQL, we can create a database with the help of this particular command, which is called as create database. The next one is alter database. So with the help of this particular command, alter database, we can modify the database. We can create the database. We can create the table with the help of SQL. For that, we have to use the command create table. Then we can again alter the table with the help of SQL. So for that, we have to use alter table, which will modify a table. Okay, then drop table for deleting a table, then create index for creating an index inside our database, which is nothing but a search key. Okay, so for that we have to use create index, and the next thing is drop index. So drop index means for deleting an index we will use this particular command called as drop index. Okay, so these are the important SQL commands. This may be asked in your interviews as well. Okay, now let's learn the first SQL statement, which is the SQL select statement. Okay, the select statement is used to select a data from a database. Okay, whenever we have to select a particular data from the database, we will use this particular select statement. Okay, and the data returned is stored in a result table which is called as result set. Okay, whatever data, let's say one complete database is given, we have used select statement for retrieving the data from that database. Okay, so some of the data we will retrieve. That particular retrieved data will be stored in a result table which is called as a result set. Okay, now let's learn the select syntax. Okay, so basically the select syntax is in this particular form. So first we have to type select in the capital letters. Okay, then whatever column we have to select, that we have to type, like column 1, column 2, like this. Okay, now let's say we have a database in which 10 columns are there. Out of that particular 10 columns, we have to select first two columns. So what we will do, we will type select in capital letters, then column 1 comma column 2. Okay, now the next part of the syntax is from which table we have to select. We have to write down the name of that particular table, and then we have to end this particular statement with the semicolon. Okay, I'll repeat. First you will type select, then columns which you are going to select, column 1, column 2, column 3, separated by the commas. Then from which table you have to select, you have to write down that particular name of the table. Now for example, let's say the name of the table is customer, and you will select the first two columns of this particular table. Okay, so what we will do, we will type select column 1 comma column 2 from customer, which is the name of the table, and then semicolon. This will be the in-text. Now here in this particular syntax, column 1 and column 2 are the field names of the table you want to select the data from. If you want to select all the field available in the table, means you have to, if you want to select the entire data, okay, which is present in the table, we will use the symbol star or asterisk. Okay, so this syntax is in this particular form: select asterisk from table name. Okay, so let us apply the first syntax. Okay, let us try this particular syntax select. Okay, so if you observe this particular statement, I have typed select star from customers. It means that it will select all the field from this particular table, and the name of the table is customers. So if I run this particular query, so if you observe, see, this is the result. Okay, so basically number of records are 91, means number of rows are 91. Okay, and we have selected all fields. Okay, customer ID, customer name, contact name, address, city, postal code, and country. These are the name of the columns. Okay, so basically with the help of star we got this particular entries. Okay, so uh, whenever you have to select all fields, you will use star. Whenever we have to select a specific column, you will use the column numbers, like column 1, column 2, like this. Or we can use column headers as well, like customer ID, customer name, contact name, like this. Okay, let us learn with the help of an example. So in this particular example, in this SQL statement, what I have typed select, then customer name, okay, which is the name of the field, and city. It means that we are selecting customer name and city from customers table. So if you run this particular query, so see, we got like two columns. First column is for customer name, and the second column is for city. Okay, so either you can type column 1, column 2, like this. Okay, either you can type the name of the field. So here the name of the field was customer name and city. Okay, so today what we have learned the select statement and the syntax for the select. Okay, so syntax for this particular statement select is very easy. First you have to type select, then field name separated by the commas, then from the name of the table from which you are going to extract the data. So I hope you are liking this particular series. So we are learning SQL from very beginning, from very basic. Just go through the video, you will learn each and everything, and just note down the syntax, nothing else. Thank you for joining with me in this particular video. Thank you.